Today I've been asked to talk to you guys about time blocking, and it's a topic that I've covered ad nauseum for 6.5 years that I've been on the team. Right? Everybody's like, oh my gosh, if I hear about a calendar one more time, I might lose it. That's how I feel, actually, because I think that this topic is one that you know about. I think you know the tactics of it, but simply need to be reminded of what it is, why it's important. And that's what I was asked to do today. They're not asking me to teach you anything new. I don't have much new for you today. I've got a couple tools. But what today is really about is unfucking your brain. And I changed the title at 8 o'clock last night, Denzel, because time blocking just did not resonate with me. For two reasons. One, it's boring, and I knew I would lose you in the first minute if you saw that slide. And two, and most importantly, we need to get unstuck more than anything else. Yes. We're in a highly distracted world. Amen. If you want, I'm not opposed. We are in a highly distracted world. In fact, everybody is competing for your attention. There are companies that have multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar, no exaggeration, valuations based on capitalizing on your attention. And the problem with being an entrepreneur and not working a 9 to 5 is you are paid based on your attention as well. We all have the option every single day to convert our time into money, but oftentimes our time gets sucked by something else. It could be our cell phone, it could be a positive thing, it could be our family, it could be any number of different sources. So today, I'm gonna help you own your time and own your life. First off, I'm gonna hit you really quickly with the benefits of time blocking. I think we all know these, but we just need to be reminded. If you wanna live a life that's beyond your wildest imagination, you have got to get control of your time. I talk to so many real estate agents who want financial freedom. And for many, financial freedom means time freedom. That's what it means to me. However, we can't get true freedom unless we have control of our time. Because one thing has to happen for the other. It's the classic chicken and the egg scenario. In order to get your time back, in order to build serious wealth, you have to dedicate your time to building serious wealth. Unless you have a multi-million-dollar trust fund, that's a little bit different. But guess what? We don't. Most of us don't. I don't know if anybody in this, raise your hand if you got a trust fund, like a big one, like 10 million plus. Yeah, okay. So if you don't have a multi-million-dollar trust fund, let me help you get to a point where you can develop that multi-million-dollar trust fund for your family, for their futures. Attention to control your future. Your focus is your fortune. Honestly, this whole presentation was just stream of consciousness, a voice memo that I sent to Denzel. Was like, make it into a slide deck. And when I said that, I paused for like a crazy amount of time and was like, oh my God, where did that come from? Where did that thought, your focus is your fortune, come from? It came from a place of deep conviction, because fortune to me is two different things. It's time freedom, and I can invest that however I want. And I spend a lot of time with my family. Personally, that's how I like to spend my time. And two, it's wealth. And that's important to me too, because one ends up leading to the other. So your focus is your fortune, and your attention is your most valuable asset. February or March of this year, I realized that I was way off track with my goals. I had made a business plan that was 3 pages long for 3 different businesses, and I wasn't doing any of it. I was letting my business run me. I was letting the things that came in direct where my time and attention went. And shame on me, because I teach this stuff and I know it well. The problem I had was a lack of clarity and focus. And I had to regain that focus, and I had to actually break away from some things that were really killing my focus completely. So I had to go back to the basics, and I encourage you that if you are in that place where you're just reacting, go back to the basics and commit to that calendar again. The second tool is the to-do list. This one is probably not talked enough in mainstream guruism about calendars. I think that this matters more than a calendar because it directs what you actually do and how you actually spend your time. For me, a good to-do list doesn't matter if it's digital and it's on your phone and it syncs to your computer, or if it's paper-based. It does not matter. It's something that you commit to, and it has 2 main functions. A good to-do list is organized both in terms of importance and also timeliness, deadlines. Now, sometimes the things that have a deadline are not the most important thing, and oftentimes the most important things do not have a deadline. And I'm going to stick on that last point for a second. We all know we should lead generate and have at least 5 conversations a day and do at least 2 open houses per month. And we all know this. And again, people need to be reminded more than they need to be told. And that's what's really important about today. However, we don't put deadlines on things like having 5 conversations per day. We can put a time block in our calendar and say, I'm going to lead generate from 9:30 till 11 o'clock every single day. We can have details in that block, whatever. But if we're not setting an actual deadline and actually tracking it, it's not going to get done. Ask me how I know. I've lived this, guys, and I've gotten into this trap for far too long, okay? So the to-do list is something that will help you to establish, like I said, both the deadline and the priority. It'll help you sleep better at night, honestly. If you've ever had a day that you wake up, have you ever woken up in the middle of night and said, oh my gosh, I forgot to do X, and then had a hard time falling back asleep? You probably have a to-do list problem. And you can break that pretty easily. So if you don't have a to-do list, my strong suggestion is after today's done, tonight, just do a brain dump of everything that you've got going on. And go through your text messages and your emails and your post-it notes and the receipts that you wrote on the back of, and just get it all into one place and then deal with it tomorrow. Just sort through it tomorrow. But just capture it and you'll feel so much better. The third tool that you have is your phone. And it's either your greatest tool or your biggest trap. This is where real estate agents fail, without a doubt. We are in a fight for our attention, like I said. And the phone is programmed to give us notifications, bells, whistles. It's like they took everything in Vegas, including lighting, okay? Like they literally took principles in Vegas, like a percentage of blue light that captures your attention, and they put it into your phone. Then they layered on top of that distraction and reaction. And they are asking you in real time for feedback on how you feel about what's going on in your phone. Before I go into some tracking things, I want you all to do something with me. You're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate this. If you're one of my mentees, you've done this recently. I want you to go into your phone and go into your screen time. Yeah, you betcha. You're gonna go into your screen time.
How do you find it? Yeah.
If you have an iPhone, the easiest way is to swipe down and just type in the word screen, and that'll pull up a little icon and you can click on it. If you have an Android, you're probably more tech savvy than I am, and you probably know how to get there, because Android users just tend to be. I have an exercise that's gonna help you with your screen time that we're gonna do at the end, and it will take 1 minute, I kid you not. I need to bring awareness to this issue to keep your attention. Like I said, attention's your most valuable commodity. Did you just take my screen? Good Lord, David Brooke! Click on week at the top.
I did.
Okay. Now look at your categories. Now some of these are okay, right? 7.5 hours in the Bible app, amazing, right? I'm going to make you share your screen time with your partner at the end. So you have plenty of time to commiserate and bitch and complain about how much time you had spent on your phone. You've got to stick with me if we're gonna fix this issue, okay? David, you already pulled yours up. I was gonna use you as a positive example. Okay, so David's screen time is very high, right? There are some good things on there and there's some bad things on there. Messages could go either way. It could be you sending memes to your bros late at night, which is positive or negative. It could be you using the Bible app for 7.5 hours in a week. I would argue that's a great thing. It could be you playing games. It could be you going onto whatever social media app that you have that is your problem du jour, right? It doesn't really matter what your problem is. The solution is the same thing for every single person. And we're gonna put some stopgaps into place at the end, but I just wanted to bring your attention to where your time is going. Because the thing I hear from most real estate agents when we tackle this topic of time blocking, I don't have enough time for X. I don't have enough time to lead generate. I don't have enough time to call my leads. I don't have enough time to do an open house every week. And you do. You're just giving your time to the wrong person, or to the wrong master, frankly. So I'm gonna give you a couple tools that will help you control your time in the moment. And these, if you follow this, you will be unstoppable. They're up here. There's a break after me, so come up and grab them. The first tool I'm going to share with you is the 15-minute activity tracker. This is savage, and it is so helpful, and it is what I need when I'm feeling off track. The way this works, it's a table broken down into 15-minute increments. Really high-tech stuff here. And what you do is you set an alarm on your phone to go off every 15 minutes. And when that alarm goes off, you write down what you did in the preceding 15 minutes. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's right. And it's like the P90X of productivity, I'm telling you. What is amazing about this tool is two things. One, you can't hide from it. There's no hiding from the reality of what you're actually doing and recording, right? And it gives you the ability to measure your actual, how you're actually spending your time against your calendar. So there's an auditing function, right? But the other thing it does is it keeps you more on track. Because if an alarm's going off every 15 minutes and you have to ask yourself, well, what did I do? What did I just do in the last 15 minutes? You're training yourself into a positive feedback loop. You're training a positive productivity loop. And when you get in the habit of doing this day in and day out, you start to view your time in 15-minute increments and you become a lot more efficient and a lot more effective. The other tool that I love, and again, if you're one of my mentees, you're probably sick of hearing this, it's the monthly habit tracker. This is another really high-tech tool. It's a table, okay? And it's got 31 columns for 31 days in a month, and it's got habits on this side. I am not here to tell you what habits to put on here. You probably know what they are. The things that you're struggling with most, you'll want to put on here as something that you try to tackle. The things that are most effective for you, you'll probably want to put on here because you want to continue doing them. I got back into using this tool in May of this year. Now, if you're paying attention, I was struggling in February and March, and it took me a couple months to get back on using the tool that made me successful in the first place. Why? I was hiding. I ask you, what are you hiding from? What are the things that you don't want to face? What are the demons that you need to slay? What are the one or two things that if you change them, in terms of your habits, it would change everything for you? That belongs on this tracker. For me, there are a couple things that I put on here. I'm not going to share all of them because some of them are personal. But I know that if I meditate every day, if I journal, if I exercise 3 times per week, if I underwrite at least 1 deal per week, if I post 1 YouTube video per week, these are just some of the things that I know are leading indicators. And when I complete these habits, the results come. I'm telling you, this stuff works. My most effective mentees start our meeting by pulling up their habit tracker and sharing how they're doing, good or bad. Because here's the deal, we're not always gonna hit all the time, but if you're tracking, you can easily see when you went off track, you can start to diagnose why, and you can make positive changes for the future. Everybody with me so far? Any questions?
Tell me about your every 15 minutes. Like,
yep.
Do you commit to say, all right, I want you to do this for 1 week?
Great question.
Do this for how does it work?
Great question. For most people, I recommend doing it for 3 days in a row. I think a week is a lot for people to commit to mentally. I found that that's too hard and people just won't do it when I ask them to do that. Obviously, the more you do it, the more effective you'll be. But if you do it for 3 days in a row, and you look at it against your calendar, you'll get a really good sense for, kind of what percentage of on track or off track you are. I personally use it on days that I have a lot of white space, a lot of project time. The way I build my calendar, I have high impact days and then I have sort of buffer work or presentations, trainings, teaching mentees, things like that. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays are really working in the business. Monday, Thursday, Friday, I'm lead generating, I'm looking for deals, I'm underwriting deals, that type of thing. That's what I work on. And on those days when I have big blocks for like project time, that's when I'm using the 15-minute tracker. Because I stay on track on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Why? I'm scheduled every half an hour. I'm coaching somebody different and I'm just dialed in. I have to be, because my calendar is built in a way that makes me dialed in. And not just that, I also stack it. So all my coaching calls are in the afternoon, so I'm in that mind space. And it's very easy to stay focused on coaching people because I'm not changing. There's a significant cost to changing from one activity to another. And if we're not setting our time up in a way that's going to, keep us in the same brain space, then you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. So the days that I know I'm just doing project work and they're open-ended and my to-do list will have a couple things for projects on them, but they don't necessarily have a deadline. What's the deadline for underwriting a deal? What's the deadline for going through everything on CoStar? Like, there is none. So what I have to do is I'll take a picture. I've sent it to Nick before and said, hey, here's what my calendar looks like today. It's open. I can either have the most effective day ever, or I could totally botch this shit. And you've gotten that text, probably 4 or 5 times, right? And what I do is I tell them, hey, I'm gonna send this to you 3 times. I'm gonna send it to you morning, lunchtime, and at the end of the day, because I need accountability. I have to get out of myself because I believe my own bullshit. I have 2 factories in my head, one that manufactures bullshit and one that buys it. And that's it.
Where do you send this to? Do you send it to like a mentor or like something else that you're like a peer? Or like how do you work this to like get analyzed and be like, am I doing the right things here?
Yep, it all depends on what you need. So when I was getting back into it, I sent it to Jerica, who's my coach/ops director, and she's like dialed in on stuff. And she will go through it 15-minute increment at a time with me if I need that. When I got back in the habit of using it and when my productivity was back, I got to a point where I can just use it on my own. If I'm going into a day, like I said, where I have a lot of open-ended time, then I'll tell somebody or a couple people, I can either crush it today or I can have a terrible day, and I use the 15-minute tracker and it'll be clear as day at the end of that. And I need that accountability. I'm no better than anybody else. I've just put a lot of rails around myself. It's like bowling with bumper lanes. I want to hit some pins every time. And it might not always be a strike, but I'm not throwing gutter balls all the time when I can get other people involved.
What about the habits? Because I think a lot of us talk about like, oh, I want to be more disciplined or I want to be more consistent.
Yep.
How do you put a habit to anything like that?
So I suggest setting alarms that go off at the same time every single day, because for me, I can wake up with the best intention and still not do it. And I'll give you a very real example from my life. I intend every single morning to wake up and turn my will over to God in the morning and give it to Him and just say, hey, use me however you see fit today. Take me out of my own self, take me out of selfishness, self-centeredness, and help me be of service to you and others. And I don't do it every day, but I want to. So I have an alarm. It goes off at 8:30 every morning. It says, turn my will over. And sometimes I've done it by then, and sometimes I haven't. And I know at 8:30, by that time I've dropped Ben off, I'm kind of thinking about my day, and I'm refocusing, and if that alarm goes off, and I haven't done it, I just take a minute to do that. So I suggest the same thing with the tracker, or whatever you're trying to implement, whatever's really important to you. But you have to do it at a time that makes sense. I'll give you an example from talking to Nick Green, if you don't mind. This is a new tool for him that he's implementing this month, and part of our conversation last week was about when you'll look at your tracker, right? Like, when will you actually fill out and complete your tracker? I suggest habit stacking if possible. So what Nick came up with is, the daily huddle is from 9 to 9:30 every morning. I'm on it every single morning. I'm gonna fill out my habit tracker right after that. You tie one thing to another. Now, sometimes we need a reminder too, so I would suggest both. If you're in a mindset, if you're in a place where that's when I do mine, right? I just do it in the morning and I'm looking back on the day before. But guess what? Sometimes I forget to do it too, for a week. Yesterday, on my call with Nick, I thought 5 minutes beforehand, I'm reviewing my notes from our last call, and I'm like, we're talking habit tracker. He shared a sheet with me of his tracker. I pulled it up, and I'm like, okay, there's probably a little bit of work to be done here on your tracking. And then I stopped, and I pulled up my own tracker, and I hadn't filled it out since the prior Tuesday. Pot calling the kettle black if I come in there guns a-blazing and saying, look at you need to get better at filling it out, right? This is real stuff though, guys. Like, we're trying to rewire our brains and change habits that have been ingrained in us by companies who just want our attention and want our money. So again, I'll bring it back to that main point. Would you rather own your time and monetize it, or would you rather be monetized? If you're not paying for a product, you are the product. So we are going to do this is probably the most confronting exercise that we'll do all day. And I previewed it a little bit because I had to get your attention, right? I want you to take out your phones again and pull up screen time. I'm not asking you to share it with the group publicly. I do ask that you turn to the person next to you and share your screen time with them. And I want you to talk about how you feel about that number. Great question. Go back a week. Thank you. A couple things to zero in on are your average screen time. If you go back to the 1 week view, that's most helpful for me. And you can view it by categories. It will lump in, social media apps together. My beef with that is they put messages in there, and I'm like, I'm doing important stuff in messages. I got memes to send, and I do some business in my messages. So I go through and I manually add up how much time I'm spending on Instagram and Reddit. Those are my two big ones. And I look at that every week. I have to, because mine was out of control. And I'm happy to say I've gotten it down significantly. I'm not here to brag, but I've gotten it down to 3.5 hours to 3 hours and 50 minutes per day. That's still ridiculous, guys. That's so much time on a phone. And guess what? I'm on my computer for, 6-8 hours a day. Like, it's just absolutely ludicrous. What I'd like you to do is take a second, go to your weekly view, and add up your social media apps and or games or whatever they might be. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Clash of War of whatever games and things are out there. Whatever things are just like not productive, get a total. Yeah, a lot of ughs. I know, I hear you. Me too, I get it. Take that number, and if you're doing a weekly, I want you to multiply it by 52. Yeah, a lot of eyes got wide on that one. That's how much time in a year you're spending on social media. If you divide it by 24 hours in a day, you can figure out how many days you're spending on social media. However, that math is wrong. You actually, let's say you sleep 7 hours a day, you actually need to divide that number by 17. So if you want, take your total social media hours divided by 17. That will give you your number of, the waking time that you're spending on social media per day, right? You get the idea, okay? And I'm not here to shame anybody because I've been there too. I'm here to help fix this situation. The first way to fix it is to bring awareness to the problem. Now we're gonna do something about it. You ready? We're gonna put app limits in place. Oh no, right? This is like I'll be sitting with mentees, I'm like, oh, I have to do it, I'll do that tonight, No, you're gonna do it right now, because it's gonna take you less than 1 minute, and this will help solve your problem. So, I'll just talk about what I've done for myself personally. I put in a 30-minute limit for Instagram and a 30-minute limit for Reddit every single day. I got there because I said, you know what, if I spend an hour on just, filth and bullshit and like UFOs and conspiracies or whatever, that's kind of fun, it's kind of funny, right? But I don't want to go too much further than that. Now, I'm not perfect. I hit that app limit every single day. The app limit will do a couple things for you. One, it should hopefully help you curb that addiction and that habit. And two, it will bring awareness to when you hit that app limit. It'll bring awareness to how you're doing for the day mentally, how you're doing inside. I'm about to get real deep on you for a second, all right? So, when I hit my app limit for Instagram at 10 a.m., I know I'm having a much worse day than when I hit it at 9 p.m. And I know that I've been highly unproductive and also not mentally sound. And I'm just talking for myself here, so I'm not trying to put it out on everybody that I'm crazy. I'm not saying you all are. But when I hit that app limit early, I'm running from something because I want that dopamine. Give me that fix. Give me that story. Give me that whatever is on the app of my choice. So when I hit the limit early in the day, I have to decide, do I want 1 more minute, 15 minutes, or do I want to ignore it for the day? Try not to ignore it for the day, okay? And hit whatever you want. If you need a couple minutes, fine. But when you close it, ask yourself, what happened before this? What am I running from? What am I trying to break away from? I'm not perfect in this area. Like I said 30-minute limits. I end up at about 4 hours and 15 minutes on average on Instagram. We'll call it 4.5 for a week. That's as if there were a 9-day week, 30 minutes a time. There isn't, so I'm obviously going over what my own limit is, but I'm trying to monitor it. I'm trying to just get a little bit better with it every single week. So, what's a good limit for you? I don't know. Just come up with a number and put something in. You should be able to, within screen time, there's a section right under the graph called limits. Okay, so I'm in screen time, and right under here you should see limits as a section. You know, you can click into it and you can add a limit. You can add different times that you're allowed to go on it. You can make a custom for each day. I don't do this. I just do like 30 minutes across the board because like whatever. There are two ways to get into it. So if you back out and you're on this screen instead, hit app limits here. Or downtime's also useful. I don't use this, but this is like, if I were really disciplined and I was like, after 9:30 at night, I'm not gonna look at my phone, then I would do this. Speaking of time, that's my time. So I'm gonna get out of your hair. We have a 10-minute break after this. Thank you.